Welcome back to another week of the weekly Top 5 Football Top 5 Games of the Week. We start with number 5 in beautiful Dolphins, Miami, which is funny because it wasn't that beautiful. Even Miami was, 46 at kickoff? Everyone was in coats at this game. Unbelievable. The weather is insane this week. Minus temperatures, all those handsome, muscular, shirtless Seahawks players in Kansas City all flexing and then just getting destroyed by Patrick Mahomes after that. That was cute. And here we go. Packers, Dolphins, Aaron Rodgers, Tua Tagovailoa. Let's pull up the stats. And Tua had an incredible first half and then a really bad fourth quarter. Aaron Rodgers had a decent day. The offensive, the running game was okay. Dillon is still one of my favorite. There's always a play by A.J. Dillon where he's just not stopping. And he's got tree trunks for legs, and it's just unbelievable. Their third down stats are pretty hilarious. 2 for 14 from the Packers, 2 for 7 from the Dolphins. Packers are 2 for 5 in the red zone because they kick so many darn field goals. And one thing that I noticed about this game that I thought was interesting, it was like the most who cares about what is it called? Wow, I'm blanking on this. Who cares about field position? That's what it is, field position. The Packers had an incredible kickoff return all the way to the inside of the 10. They kick a field goal. The Dolphins, the Packers drove into the red zone multiple times, 2 for 5 in the red zone, kicking it 3 times, many field goals in this game. And the Dolphins, if they succeed, it's just a big, crazy play. Also, Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill just running side by side faster than everyone on the Packers defense was kind of fun. They're so fast. It doesn't even make sense. I don't know how they're that fast, but this game was so up and down the field. Get in the red zone. Who cares where you start with the ball? It's all about just getting it into scoring. And the Dolphins have these deep plays that just kind of like Waddle on a huge play, Hill on a huge play. Who cares about where you get the ball? They're going to get a huge play, and then you're just going to kick a field goal in the red zone and not even score a touchdown. Or, you actually just score a touchdown on that play. I found that kind of funny. People get so worked up about field positioning. In this game, wow, talk about something that didn't matter. Maybe between like the Patriots and the Buccaneers, then field positioning might matter, but it does not matter. Did not matter in this game. Aaron Rodgers had some incredible passes, got lucky on one of them. It was definitely dropped, but they snuck away with it, got points. And Tua collapsed. We've seen what's been going on with him over the past 3 games, and now in the 4th game, Dolphins lose 4 in a row, and now we're at risk of missing the playoffs entirely. Tua finishes the game with 3 consecutive drives ending in picks, and somehow the Packers don't just completely dominate the end of this game. They just end up getting these stupid field goals because they can't score touchdowns. And the Dolphins are still in it. They throws a pick, gets a field goal, 23-20. Throws a pick, gets a field goal, 26-20. One more shot. You got the ball one more time. Tua throws a pick. And then they just run the clock out. And the game ends. And then also, once again, 16 for 25. Like I said, it's all boom or bust with their offense. And I think he had 220-something yards in the first half. And then second half is no touchdowns, 3 picks, and like less than 100 yards. And a very low completion percentage. Again, 16 for 25. It's not great. And he keeps... It's not as bad as other weeks, but even in the Bills game where it seemed like their offense was clicking, he still was just throwing a lot of incomplete passes. And the only thing I can see is that they've just been really figured out, or they were just looking really good. But whatever happened after that Niners game, they've only played they've only won in streaks and lost in streaks. They lose 3 games in a row because Tua's out. That's a major aspect of it. But then they win 5 games in a row, and then they lose 4 games in a row. And some of these teams aren't necessary. I mean, the Packers are the worst team, and they're just okay. And then the Chargers, they'll make the playoffs. And I guess the Niners and the Bills are good teams. So it's not shocking that they didn't, go undefeated through this section. But 2-2, at least 1-3, something like that. And now they went from they were 8-3 on top of the AFC East, second in the league, I think, in the conference. And now they're 7th in the conference and just 1 game ahead of 2 of the teams that they have to play in their division. They have to play the Jets and the Patriots. I think it's Patriots first, then Jets. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, actually. I think the Dolphins will miss the playoffs again. For the 3rd year in a row, they will have probably maybe a winning record and miss the playoffs. They were 10-6. They were 10-5. All they had to do was beat the Bills, who were going to not play in the second half, and they lost 56-26 in 2020. And last year, they ended the season, I think, 9-8. And this year, they're 8-7. They were 8-3. Holy moly. And then as for the Packers, hey, they're right there. And they got the Vikings next, which is amazing because they're favored by 3 at home. It's a wash of a game because honestly, every Vikings game, they should just never be favored by more than 1 score because they only play games by 1 score. Every game is 1 score. So you should never assume that the Vikings, although all their wins, should never assume that they'll win by more than 1 score because they don't. They've done it once. And then they've won 11 games. NFL record by 1 score. And then the Packers finished off with the Lions, who seemed like, sadly, they've kind of blew it a little bit. But we'll see. Will Aaron Rodgers make the playoffs? Which, if I'm going to call it right now, which one of these teams do I think will make the playoffs? Which one do I think won't? Packers on a 3-game win streak. Dolphins on a 4-game lose streak. Packers play the Vikings and the Lions. Dolphins play the Patriots and Jets. Man. Dolphins have a win. So it's hard to not take the Dolphins. I'm going to go with the Packers. Nah, Dolphins. Dolphins probably will make the playoffs over the Packers. I gotta say it. They already have the extra loss in Aaron Rodgers. I still don't trust him. I don't trust him this year. With that, though, fun game. Tua, I don't know what's going on, buddy. I heard a person, and I'll bring it up just because I'm angry about it. One person said that Tua should have made the Pro Bowl over Josh Allen, and I think we all learned that that is not the case today. Or yesterday, we learned that. So, good call, coaches and staff, to put Josh Allen as the player to make the Pro Bowl over Tua Tagovailoa. He is not looking great. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with that team. We'll see what happens next. I mean, my question also is, how do you feel about Mike McDaniel? McDaniels? Either way, how do you feel about him now? Is this all just Tua? Is it just, Tua's not good enough? I mean, that's where everyone's jumping into. Tua's just not good enough. Obviously, we know Waddle and Hill are superstars. And Mostert has had a decent, the run game hasn't been terrible. So where do you land with this? Is it just Tua? Or is Mike McDaniel just running really boring offenses at this point? Or it's just predictable in some sort of way? I don't know. Let us know. And with that, we're going to move on.